See this, what if I had a pointer? That'd be perfect. But the sleeping bag up there on the top left. Every day we'd have to air them things out because of sweat. You sweat so bad at nighttime. And this is just a little girl that run around selling bananas. These are mountain yards. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not, but they weren't for the VC and they weren't for Americans. They wanted to just leave them alone. They lived up on stilts. There's just more of them. That's the night the Marines got in trouble and we kept a ring of fire around them all night. And that's just one gun. That's how many shells just one gun fired. And all 6 guns fired that amount. Chad, I was telling you about that mortar I saw hit. That's it right there. That was a dud. It hit about 20 feet away from me. And it was a dud. Or else none of you guys would be here. That was just one of my little friendly girls that would bring bananas. Now, if you look back behind me, you'll see our latrine.
Wait a minute.
I didn't know that would happen until after I got home and saw these pictures. These just the little girl who'd come around and like that bananas in her hand, she'd sell that for 50 cents. Seemed like everything was 50 cents. And these girls didn't have no problem at all taking their picture, but a lot of the kids wouldn't let you take their picture. These we ran out of cigarettes. We could always get it from the kids. That's just a new unit that I got transferred to. It's 8-inch 175 units. Kind of hard to see the guns there. These people would go out every day and pick up sticks like this, and what they did with them I still don't know. But every day they'd go get them. Obviously it had to be fire, but this was a lieutenant's wife. Very seldom you see any of them dressed up like that. Then I was just trying to give you an idea of what the jungle looked like. That's all jungle back there. And it's just as thick as it looks like it is. Just a couple of friends. Can't remember what we were doing there. This was where we'd go to fill our sandbags. And we could pay them 50 cents and they'd fill sandbags all day long for us. I stopped one of them old ladies one time and to feel what that load felt like. It's unbelievable the load that they carry like that. They have to walk and they get it bouncing, then they take a step. When it's bouncing up, they take their step. They'd be on both feet when the bounce comes down, that way they catch the weight.
How heavy do you estimate those are?
I'd say that one I had was probably 60, 70 pounds. There was probably mortars in there to shoot us with, probably. These are mountain yards again. Now, it wasn't a flooded area. That area didn't flood, but for some reason they live up off the ground like that.
Keep bugs out?
Pardon?
Keep bugs out?
I don't know. They'd still crawl up the stilts. Same thing. Well, you can't tell it. I don't think I got a picture, but they'd carve wood by hand. And I've seen them carve big old 8x8s, and they just do it by hand. Got a necky little boy. There was a garden up front there. I don't know what was in it, but that was their garden. Back to the sand plant. This guy here is from New York, and he had the craziest accent, and he was always trying to pick up one of them women. I don't know what would happen if he would have. Al Sacco. It's just selling sandbags. village there, they said that rumored that the VC was paying them to come in and to kill the Americans, and they'd give them rewards, bounties on it. I don't know if it ever happened or not. Oh, and that dog, I think I've taken a picture of that dog, because that's the only dog I've seen, because they eat dogs. If you didn't know better, you'd think it was in Hawaii almost with that picture. But that's, I think that was the middle part of South Vietnam. You have to look real careful, but back in the background, right above the river, right there, the bombs, them were all bomb scars where they dropped bombs. That truck on the back right-hand side there, that's a Quad 50. It's for anti-aircraft, but they use it against personnel, but talk about putting out some firepower. Just on some mission. That's an ARVN, that's a South Vietnamese soldier. 50% of them were all gay.
Gay?
Yeah.
How did you know?
Believe me, you know. And there's our little monkey.
Brooke, get out of the way. Brooke, you're in the way, hun. You're still in the way, Pumpkin.
Hey, monster. Godzilla.
Brooke,
Lay
Brooke.
down on your back.
Lay down. Lay on
Oh,
your
Lay
back.
down if you're gonna sit there.
they went in sideways. That snake I'm holding, that's a bamboo viper.
That's very poisonous.
Yes, they say 4 to 6 seconds of sanity left after he bites you.
What the hell were you picking him up for?
He's dead.
Oh.
But they say there's no cure for it, because if you know you got bit by one, just make your peace with your maker, because you ain't got time for nothing else. Well, I'll be darned.
Jen can straighten those out.
Let me stop this.
Well, this is the guy that shot himself in the foot.
On purpose?
Yeah, to try to get out of Nam, and he was gone for about a week, and he was back again. I don't know how many of these are going to be sideways. Oh, there we are. That's a better picture of the viper.
Is that one alive?
No, he's dead. That's the same one. We burned up a bunch of bamboo back there, and he got burned up with it. Now, to me, that right there is really a pretty picture of the palm trees and everything.
Is that a Huey up there?
Pardon?
Is that a Huey up there?
Huey, yeah.
Use your finger pointed out.
And then the rice paddies off on the right-hand side. I don't know what river that may be the Da Nang River, because we was up north then. Another Quad 50.
And the little kid.
Yeah, little kid. This was just inside of one of the villages we were passing through. Being in artillery, we went on a lot of missions, and so we were on the road a lot. He's holding an orange soda. That's the only place we could get orange or grape or anything else was from them. And you can tell it's an American soda, but they get it in the black market somehow.
He's not wearing any pants.
Hmm?
He's not wearing any pants.
Well, you just can't see his leg. See his other leg? You can see the pant leg on his other leg. You see the girl in the back? She's barefooted. I was always around little kids. I always liked little kids. Yeah, I had hair.
Brown.
You like that monkey.
Well, he liked me a lot.
That was the monkey that hated black people?
Yeah, he really hated it. But if you look right under that monkey's mouth, you see it's an APC back there. That's where my bunker was down there. I was up visiting. That was an old Marine bunker that leaked water in there, we slept outside most times, or up in the APC there. Their bunkers are falling apart.
What's that?
As a little girl, I was taking her picture and she started running away. I got it anyway. See, now this unit I was in on this unit, we slept in tents like that. So, not much protection from a mortar. That's just another Arvin. Back to the mountain yard. That's a 175. You've got a range of 25 miles. And this gun that's closest to us that's got the bomb on it, that was my gun. And if you look up on the hill up there, you'll see a tank just sitting there. That grass we was in, if you walk through that grass and just let your hands dangle, it'd cut your hands to pieces. So what we did was we took the guns in there and just ran all that grass down. Now that's right on the DMZ up there. And believe me, it was cold up there. People say it don't get cold. You can sit by that bush on the right how the wind was blowing. It was really cold up there. This is up north again, and we set up our camp right in the middle of a graveyard. And the government paid them to come in and move the graveyard. And I sat there and I must have watched, I don't know how many graves I saw them dig up. Never saw them put nothing but dirt in those boxes and move. I don't know if it was a grave or not, but they got paid for every one of those boxes they filled.
That's a small box.
Well, theoretically they would just get the bones out of the graveyard. But like I said, I never seen a bone. They dig down so deep and they fill the box up with dirt and they get paid. I can't remember what. It was quite a bit of money too. They paid them to do that. That was back up on the DMZ again. That in the background, that name of that mountain was the Razorback. I got more pictures and stories about that. The bomb on the barrel there, the name of our gun was the Blind Bomber.
Well, that's not a good name.
Thanks, I picked it. Well, you can't see where you're shooting, so you're shooting blind. So that little guy there, he was a sergeant, but they sent him over to Nam, knowing he had a brother in Nam, and you're not supposed to have two brothers in a battlefield, and so he was getting ready to go home anyway. But you would never know he's a sergeant the way he acted. Now that's actually the gun that I'm driving. The guy that took the picture, I took a picture of him and he took a picture of me. And on the right hand side, you can barely see my helmet sticking up. That's where I set to drive it at. Well, that's the rock pile and the Razorback together. It was the mountain over on the left is where the Marines. Well, the Marines said the Air Force did it, and the Air Force said the Marines did it, and they dropped a 500-pound bomb, and it bounced off the mountain and landed right in the Marines and killed half of a whole company of Marines. We got a bunch of bamboo and was building a roof over a foxhole, and then we was going to put sandbags on top of it, and some Marines said that when that bamboo dries, and a mortar hits it, it's just like splinters. It just throws splinters all over the place. So we ripped it apart after that. I don't know what I was doing there. Obviously I didn't know what I was doing. It might have been going on a night thing, I don't know. Just another building that was fixing to go through. That's back up by where the rock pile and Razorback was. That's more of that grass. I can't remember if they called it razor grass or elephant grass, but you drag your hands through it and cut your hand up. Now, that's a picture I took. That guy right in the middle of that gun, you can see his camera there. He took a picture of me and I took a picture of him. He gave me his. I was supposed to give him this one, but I never did. I have no idea what that is.
You're upside down. Somebody's upside down.
That's the mortar going off right there. This must be getting into the mortar attack. No, not yet.
Now you're shopping.
Yeah, now we're at the laundromat. After we take our clothes there to get them laundry and put starch in them, they chew up rice and spit on your clothes. That's the way you get your starch. So we used to always have to tell them no starch. And the barber shop, the laundry and the barber shop. This kid here, his name was Childress. He was a hippie from California. And half the time he didn't know he was in Vietnam. He was always smoking pot. But this duck, we paid $1 for this duck and it died. We bought it from one of the little kids walking by. That's him looking down at the poor duck. But now that's our hooch there. You can see those big, what are they, 8x8s going across the top, 3 layers of sandbag. Then you leave a cubby hole where you can shoot out of. And this was just a sunset. I was just trying to, it was prettier in person, but just trying to give you an idea. Now I took a lot like these. Now that black spot up there is not the shell, but I was trying to catch the shell as they shot, but I was always too slow.
But you could see it with your eye? You could see it?
Yeah, if you stood behind the gun, you could see it leaving. I just never was fast enough to catch it. That's a bunch of Hueys. That's the Marines were going on some battle. And I think as many helicopters that are in there, I think that was all of them for that bunch of Marines. What time is it? 7:20. That was that same night I took the other picture, but I wanted to see if I could get a silhouette picture.
I like that.
It came up pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that slide. We're gonna have to remember where it's at.
Now we're back in the mortar attack again. These are shells, Chad, that's just going off. Like I said, I was just snapping as fast as I could take pictures. You can't see it good, but just to the left of that one in the center is one of the guns that took a direct hit. And that was to try to, that's the direction we got mortared from. And that was off to the right a little bit further, but that's what it looked like out of our bunker right there. 3 rolls of fence and then rice paddies. Now that's that helicopter shooting, and I took it for a half a second so I could get all the streaks. The whites were rockets and the red was the machine gun. I always thought that was a neat picture. Yep, back in the mortar attack.
That's when it was blowing up behind you, right?
Yeah. That's a helicopter shooting at regular speed, and there's 4 shells in between each one of those red spots, because every 5th round is a tracer. There you can see that one gun is an 8-inch, and the one on the right-hand side is a 175. This is where I thought everybody was dead. Because you know that's right where they're sleeping at, so if you can see that in person, it was a lot more dramatic. So naturally you'd assume everybody was dead up there. That smoke coming off of that gun on the left, or to the right of that tree, that was the gun I was attached to, and it took a direct hit. There's one I think that in its day would have won an award, that picture. That's right when they hit our powder supply. And all those little spots in the air is a piece of the powder. That was the next morning. That was the 175 projos. Just to show you they wouldn't explode. You know, they would just lay it all over the place. Busted open and everything. They won't explode unless they're set. That was the only bunker that wasn't hurt. Or besides ours. And nobody was in it.